Now welcome to my coding school. In this video, let us look at operating systems. So here on our desktop, this is called Windows 11. We have different types of Windows, for example, Windows 10, Windows 7, and Windows 8. And then we have other systems like Mac OS X, and then we have Ubuntu, and then we have Chrome OS. So those are some of the common operating systems. So an operating system is simply a software that tells the computer how to communicate with computer hardware components. So now what I want to do is I will show you the simple navigation around this system. So here, this is a recycle bin. So whenever you delete something from your computer and you want to recover it, you can simply get it from here. But then if it's deleted, for example, if I get this and then I empty the recycle bin, they will be deleted and I will not be able to recover these files. So when you try to look for a file and you're not seeing it, you can simply get it from the recycle bin. And then we have the folders, these yellow ones. This is simply a place where you store related data. For example, our images that we used in the previous videos, they are stored in this folder. We have applications, for example, Microsoft Edge and Firefox. These are browsers that we use to surf the internet, and we have applications like OBS. This is simply a recording software that I'm using to record this video. And then we have MetaTrader 5. If you do with Forex trading, you can use these apps. This is an editor, and then this is the trading platform. And then we have VLC Media Player, which is simply used to play videos. And then if I come to one of the folders, for example, tutorials, and then I get to videos, and then here I can play one of the videos that we have. For example, this one that we recorded earlier. So by default, it will be open in Windows Media Player. So that's how you open videos. But then you can also open them using VLC, the app that I showed you on the screen. And then it is selected. So that is VLC Media Player. And then if we move on, we have a Visual Studio Code. This is simply an IDE that you use to write code. And then I have Thorium, which is simply an application that I use to read books. So this is a desktop. So down here, we have a taskbar, and this taskbar has some of the applications that I normally use. So here you can simply right click, then you can go to the taskbar settings, and then here they will give you the options that you can use to customize this taskbar. For example, I can add in widgets, and then you'll see now that we have this widget, and then I can remove it, and then I can do a couple of other things. For example, I can work with dates and so on. So this is how I work with a taskbar. But then I can also add in new applications. For example, I can get the Firefox, which I believe I already have. So what I'll do is I'll get Thorium application, right click on it, and then I'll come to pin to start, and then it will go to the startup menu. So if I press the Windows button, this is the startup menu. So here I can get one app, for example, MS Word, and then I can pin it to the taskbar, and then you'll see now that we have it here. And then on this side, we have the notification section. So if you have notifications, they will appear here. And then we have this other section that gives me the Wi-Fi. So if I click here, I'll be able to see the Wi-Fi networks that are available. And then this is for Bluetooth. It will show me the devices that are available. and this is for the flight mode if I want to disable the network, and then this is for energy saver. And then if I scroll down, I can cast to a screen or to a projector, or I can change it to night mode. Then you see that now the screen changes and then back. And then this one tells me the battery percentage of my computer, and this one goes to settings. So here what we are doing is we are navigating the system. So here I'll come to the Windows icon, and then if I press power, I can lock the computer, I can cause it to sleep, I can shut down, I can restart, and then I can find all the applications in this section. So I can simply write the name, for example, presentation, and then I'll get that app, and then here I can press Windows and then E, and then this section will open. So this is called the File Explorer. So with the File Explorer, you can look into the different parts of the computer. For example, I can see the gallery, and then the home. So the home is where we have all of these folders that we normally use, and then the desktop. This is where we have the folders and then the applications that I showed you, and then the downloads. This is where you find the applications that you download from the internet and other files. And then when working with documents, by default they will be saved here, and then your pictures will go into this folder, and then your music will come here, and then your videos will be saved here. And then we have OneDrive. This one is simply I used to store data in the cloud. For example, now I don't have it set up, so we shall leave it for now. And then this PC, this will show you the drives that are available on your computer. For example, I have a local disk C, which is my primary drive, and then I have the flash, which is inside the computer. And then moving on, we have the network. So if you have any connection to a server, this is where it will appear. For now, we don't have it. So this is the File Explorer, and then we can go to settings. So here I'll open this File Explorer once more, and then I'll go to this PC, and then I'll right click, and then I'll go to properties. So what this will do is it will tell me the basic information about this computer. So it will open the settings, and then we wait for it to reload. So here, this is the system about. So they're telling me that my computer has an SSD of 116 GB, then 45 GB is used out of 116. So it will tell me the graphics that I have. It will tell me the RAM that I have installed, 4 GB. Then it will tell me the processor of this computer, and then the name of this computer. So if I want to connect it to Bluetooth on another device, this is the name I will see. And then these are the device specifications. For example, the device name, the type of the processor, then the RAM installed, the device ID, the product ID, and then the system type, which is Windows, which is a 64-bit operating system. And then this is the editions I am using. I'm using Windows 10, Windows 11 Pro, and then this is the version, and this is the rest of the data. So this is the home sections of the computer. So here I have a few windows. For example, these are the recommended settings, and then these are the Bluetooth devices, and then these are the accessibilities. So I can increase the font. For example, I can set it to large, and then you'll see that the text now becomes large. So I'll leave it to default, and then here I'll personalize this computer. For example, this computer is in dark theme, but I can change it to light theme, and then you'll see now that the theme will change, and now we have a light theme. So I'll decrease the brightness, and then we have the system. So now you see the theme has completely changed. So we have the Bluetooth devices. So whenever you want to add in a new device, you can simply click add device, and then it will open this window, and then it will look for devices that are available. This is for the network and the internet. Whenever you want to connect the internet, you go to this section, personalize. This is where I can change the computer now. to a default theme. So I'll change it back to the dark theme, and then there we go. So this is where I find the applications. So if I want to install or uninstall the apps, I'll find them in this section. And then this is for the accounts. For example, the name of this computer is MI. Then these are the rest of the things. And then the time and the language. Then the gaming. And then for updates, this is where I go. So this is the basic way of navigating the operating systems. So for this video, we shall end here. Then I'll see you in the next section about MS Office.